Hey guys, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and today we'll be doing the detailed review of Micromax first Windows phone, that's the Canvas Win W121. So this phone was first announced back in July, and it ran into a couple of issues and delays, and finally it was available this month. So this is the first Windows phone from Micromax. Now it's available in India for a price of around 9k. So first up, let's talk about the hardware specs of this device. So the device comes with a 5-inch HD display and runs on a Snapdragon quad-core 200 processor with 1 GB of RAM. There's 8 GB internal storage available on the device along with the Windows Phone 8.1. That's the latest version of Windows Phone. And then you have an 8 megapixel camera along with flash. There's also front facing camera, and it comes with 3 capacitive touch buttons instead of the on-screen buttons found on the latest Lumia phones. So that's the hardware spec. Now talking about the design of this device. So you can see here the device has a really good design because it's pretty slim compared to the Lumia 630 or the Lumia 525, which are all priced in the similar range. So basically this phone has a really good design and it's pretty easy to hold. You can see this has a leather kind of a finish, gives it a premium feel. You have the speakers at the back. The camera has a chrome finish, and also the LED flashlight is available along with the Micromax logo. Around the bezel you can see there is a metallic finish, which again gives it a premium feel. You have the volume keys on the left side and the power button on the right side. So that's typically different from most of the Lumia phones. You don't have a dedicated camera button. Again, the bottom area it's pretty vacant. On the top you have the micro USB charging slot as well as the 3.5mm audio jack. Above the display you have the front facing camera, the usual set of sensors, and also the earpiece. At the bottom you have these 3 capacitive touch buttons. They are backlit and offer haptic feedback. So overall the build quality of the device is really good. We would say that Micromax has done a really good job with the device. So it feels really premium for its price because it has a leather kind of finish, giving it a good grip. So overall the device is pretty easy to hold and operate, even though it's a 5-inch HD display. And if you take the other Windows phones available currently in the market, the Lumia based devices which are around available below the 10k price range, you don't see an HD display. Most of them are FWVGA or WVGA resolution. So this is a HD display. That's one really good aspect, and the display is really good. You can see the colors are really good, and the display on the Windows Phone 8.1 is really good. But having said that, there is a real big problem with the Micromax Windows Phone because the touch response isn't that smooth. Although it's not bad, but it's not as smooth as what you find on the Lumia phone. So that's one issue with the device. But overall we would say it's average, not really bad, but we would have expected more or better touch response from Micromax because their their Android phones have really good touch response in the sub 10k range. So that's one reason we are surprised that this phone does not have a really good touch response. Now moving on to the software and the performance. So this runs the latest Windows Phone 8.1 OS. So that's the latest version of Windows Phone which was released back in April at the build conference. So this is the one of the few devices coming up with Windows Phone inbuilt. So it has almost all the features. So you can see the beautiful notification center. So what you can notice here is that there are 5 buttons available on this device because it's a 5-inch device. So based on the device display, you can see that the notification center expands. So this is the beautiful notification center. Apart from this, it also has a lot of other features like VPN support, Wi-Fi sense, data sense, and a lot of new features being added with this version. Overall the performance is really good because it's snappy Snapdragon 200 quad-core processor. So absolutely no issues with the performance. It's really fast. There's no lag. Multitasking is again pretty fast. There's also 1 GB of RAM, so you don't have to worry about issues with installing any game because all games are pretty compatible with this device and run pretty smoothly as well. The gaming performance of the device is also pretty decent, not bad because it has an HD display, so the overall gaming performance is also good. Now this device comes with 8 GB internal storage. That's again pretty decent because most of the Windows Phone in this price point from Lumia have 8 GB internal storage. Now another good thing is that there is a micro SD expansion slot, so you can expand the storage, and one of the best things about Windows Phone right now is that you can install apps directly to the SD card. So that option is available with Windows Phone 8.1. so you can see the storage sense. So if you go to the storage sense, you can see the option there. So once you inserted the SD card, you can see you can insert or rather install all the apps directly onto the SD card. So you can always have internal storage left, because some apps might require internal storage, so that way performance is not an issue in this device. So overall we would say that the performance is really fast, no issues with the performance. Now moving on to the camera of this device, it sports an 8 megapixel camera with LED flash. There is also front facing camera. So since this is from Micromax, you don't have the Nokia apps like the Nokia camera or other apps which are available in the Nokia collection. So that those apps are not available for these devices. So it has the default Microsoft's camera that's shipped with Windows Phone 8.1. so it's pretty much basic, you don't have too many settings here, but you can customize the left panel, you can add whatever is available or whatever is required rather. So if you click here, you can see lots of options to customize. That is, lens selector is there, front camera, you can select ISO, white balance, exposure. So there is pretty much features, but the interface is pretty simple. There is no modes available, nor there are filters included. So that's one thing missing from the Android phone. So but overall the camera performance is pretty decent and above average. We took a pretty good amount of photos using this camera and found that's a pretty decent camera for this price point. Really not comparable to what 720 used to have. That's a mid-range phone, so you can't compare with those, but still for an mid-range phone, this has pretty good photos. So you can check out some of the photos we took. So here are they. So one of the biggest issues with this device in the camera aspect is that it can record videos only in 480p. So that's really poor from Micromax, because the chipset actually supports HD recording, that's 720p recording, but Micromax has included only 480p recording. That's really poor. And the camera video sample is really horrible, so you don't expect to take videos using this phone, because it's not really good. Here the Nokia Lumia phones with the Nokia Lumia 630 or the 525, which can record the videos in 720p, comes handy. So video recording aspect, this phone is not really the best. Now moving on to the battery performance. So this phone runs Windows Phone 8.1, so the battery performance is also really good on this device. So we tested the battery on this device on varying conditions, including 3G and gaming and all the other aspects. We found that it could even last for almost a day without any issues. It can last even more if your usage is just for calls, browsing, casual gaming, music, extra. Even if you're a heavy user, you can still get 1 day of usage. So battery life is pretty decent on this device, not bad. It's comparable to the other devices in this price point. So that's all in the detailed review of the Micromax first Windows phone, that's the Canvas Win W121. So the bigger question is, should I pick this phone when compared to the Lumia 630 or the 525 or even the newly launched 530, which is again cheaper than this device. So there are a couple of advantages for this device. First is that it comes with an HD display. That's really brilliant display when compared to the Lumia phones. Now secondly, this has an 8 megapixel camera with LED flash and also front facing. So this is something missing in quite a lot of Windows phones in the sub 10k region from Lumia. So that's one good advantage. Then the build quality is again really good. It gives it a premium feel, and there's a 5-inch display on this device. So that's again an added advantage, and it's powered by a quad-core processor with 1 GB of RAM. So there are a couple of things which go in favor of Micromax instead of the Lumia 630 or the 525. But having said that, this has a big problem, that is the Lumia, the Nokia apps are not available on this device. So if you are a huge fan of Nokia apps, especially the Nokia camera and other apps, then you will be disappointed that you can't install these apps on Micromax Windows phone. So that's the only disadvantage we feel if you buy a non-Lumia Windows phone. So overall the performance is pretty good. There's a decent camera, a brilliant display, but the touch response is not that great, and the battery life is also pretty decent. So that's the detailed review of Micromax Canvas Win W121. If you have any specific queries regarding this, just drop a comment and we'll be glad to help you out with your queries. If you like this video, do hit the like button, subscribe to YouTube channel for more updates, and thanks for watching this video.